Hi everyone, how's it going? I hope you're all doing okay during the Corona apocalypse or Coronageddon, whatever you want to call it. So, as I mentioned last week, I wanted to start doing a series of videos that basically take you through each assignment as we get up to them. So, this is going to be the video for assignment 1, which is on researching and writing a how-to guide. The reason why I'm going to do a video explaining things is basically so that you have a place for you to access all the information that you need for each assignment. Um, just in case you, for whatever reason, you might be absent, you might miss lessons or whatever, or you might just need a quick bit of information about the particular assignment. So I'm going to do this for every single assignment that we do. So this is the one for assignment 1, so make sure you watch him. Okay, so the purpose of this video is for me to go through the content of assignment 1. I'm going to go through all the various tasks that are related to assignment 1 and then the assessment criteria as well. I'm not going to make this video last for ages because a lot of the stuff, especially the description of the task, is pretty self-explanatory. But I will go over them very, very briefly. But if you've got any questions about them or you don't understand anything, send me an email. So, for this particular assignment, you're going to be writing a how-to guide. You're going to write that guide for any publication that you want, on any topic that you want. But obviously the publication that you write for is going to be dependent on what your how-to guide is going to be about. So if you did it on something to do with, I don't know, football, for example, or maybe something, well, let's stick with football just because it's off the top of my head, then you will be writing for someone like Match of the Day magazine or 442 or some sort of football-related website that you might use. So yeah, it's completely up to you. And my advice would be do it about something that you know about because that makes it much easier for you. And you're also going to do some research tasks as well that support your how-to guide. So this is going to be one of those assignments that I mentioned to you on a video last week that goes towards more than one unit. It's not just for one unit. Speaking of last week's video, if you haven't watched that yet, you need to go and watch that first because there'll be some stuff that I go through in here that might not make sense until you've watched that first video. I know some of you have because you told me and let me know you've watched, which is great, but if you haven't watched it yet, go back and watch it. It's only about 20 minutes long, okay, and considering how much time you've not got in college right now, that's nothing really, okay? That's, you can watch that whilst you're having a cup of tea or something. So, basically, in a nutshell, you're going to write a how-to guide. Like I said before, it can be on anything. And the word count for your how-to guide is a minimum of 1,200 words. All right, it could be more than that, I'm not bothered. But the minimum is 1,200 words. And it needs to include around 15 stages at a minimum as well. So it shouldn't be something that should be too brief. Okay? The actual how-to guide itself, as you can see here, goes towards Unit 52, and the research that you do, which you'll have 7 research tasks altogether, go towards Unit 3. So like I said a minute ago, this is one of those assignments that goes towards more than one. So make sure you bear that in mind when you're doing your various tasks. Alright? The reason why we're doing this is, well, basically because it says in the criteria that we've got to, okay? So Unit 52, the second learning objective, says you've got to be able to produce factual copy for print, which is what your actual how-to guide will go towards. And Unit 3, learning objective 2, says you've got to be able to apply a range of research methods and techniques, which is going to be all the research tasks that you do that go towards Unit 3. Alright? Okay, so what actually is a how-to guide? So I'm sure it's going to be one of those things that you will have read them before. You might not have realised that you were reading it, but I'm sure 99.9% of you have read a how-to guide at some point in your life. So, a lot of people do get confused between what the difference between a how-to guide is and an instruction manual. Now, they are very, very different things. What you're going to be writing is a how-to guide, which is a step-by-step process of how to achieve one particular thing. Now, it could be, I don't know, how to set up, I don't know, a DVD player or something, or how to make a cup of tea, or how to make a cake, or something like that. It's going to be working towards one particular outcome, whereas an instruction manual is much more in detail and focusing on a range of potential outcomes. So an example of that, and this is a bit of a humble brag, would be that when I got my surround sound system, the instruction manual that came with that was massive. It was like the size of, I don't know, the bloody Bible or something like that. And that's purely because there are so many different ways that I could set up my surround sound system based on my preferences, based on the size of the room, the size of the TV. So there was a range of different alternatives. Whereas a how-to guide is much more, you're doing this, you're doing it this way to achieve this thing. This is the outcome. Okay? So, they're often very, very informal as well. The reason why they're informal or simplistic is because they're designed for people who are not particularly experts in that particular field. It's for people who don't know about that sort of stuff, okay? Which is one of the reasons why things like recipes are so simplistic, because recipes are usually designed for people who can't cook or can't bake, like me, okay? That's why whenever I read a recipe, I read it about 6 times first so I don't mess it up because I can't cook, okay? They are designed for beginners, amateurs, okay? There's a reason why there's an entire book series of how-to guides called Blank for Dummies, and they're written very simplistic, okay? Very easy to understand. So they might use simplistic vocabulary. They won't use technical terms. They won't, or if they do, they'll be explained in detail. They will use elaborate code, and they will use overly simplistic vocabulary so people can understand them very, very well. These images at the bottom are different websites that you might have used in the past that feature loads of different how-to guides. The most well-known one here is WikiHow. WikiHow has got how-to guides for pretty much everything. Okay, anything you can think of, it's got a how-to guide on there for. Okay, things like how to make a cup of tea, or how to, I don't know, something off the top of my head now, how to use, I don't know, set up a PlayStation or something like that. Okay, how to, I'm looking at my room now, how to clean a cat litter tray, maybe, okay? Something like that. There's literally a how-to guide for everything on there. So these are some good examples and it'd be really, really useful for your research that you're going to do, okay? These are different grading criteria that you're going to be working towards. So I'm not going to bother going through all that stuff, but you can read it in the unit specification that you've all got access to. It's on Moodle, okay? You've all got access to that. So if you want to read through that stuff, okay, go for it. So before I go through that stuff, what I will show you is the documents that you're going to have access to, okay? So I'm going to send all these out to you in an email, but what you will have is, where have I put them now? Over here. That one and that one. Yep. So the first thing you've got is the template for assignment 1. So all the work you've got is going to go on there. I'm also going to give you this assignment brief that's got a list of all the tasks on there that you need to do. So I'm going to give you a set number of tasks that I want you to be working on every week. I'm not going to give you loads of stuff because, you know, I'm not that mean. But all the tasks that you need are on there. Okay, it's got a description to tasks. They're all pretty straightforward. Okay, task 1, 2, and 3 are really, really simple. They're really easy. Okay, you should understand it just by reading this. Okay, generating ideas, target audience, and generating stages. That's pretty straightforward. Task 4 and 5 is annotation, same as last year. Now, what you've got to do for your annotations is 4 annotations altogether. The first one is going to be about how-to guides. any how-to guide at all, just so you can understand how a typical how-to guide might read. What styles do they use? What techniques do they use? Whatever. Task 5 is a set of annotations from the publication you want to write for. They don't need to be how-to guides. They can be any. Okay. So if you're doing a how-to guide on, I don't know, how to perfect a perfect slide tackle in football. You might write that for someone like Match of the Day magazine or 442, something like that. Okay, or how to set up a defensive wall from a goalkeeper, whatever. Task 6 is going to be a treatment, which is basically a final summary of your ideas. Now, task 7 is an interesting one. Your how-to guide needs to include images. Now, what I would advise that you do is that you take your own images. You source them yourself, okay? If you take your own images, that is going to be really, really good when you're working towards this particular criteria here for your research and your planning, okay? So, if you're doing things like, I don't know, a makeup tutorial how-to guide, you could take selfies of yourself for every stage. Or if you're doing a recipe, following, I don't know, a cake or something, making a cake, take a picture of each stage as you go. But you've got to have your own images in there, okay? They should be original, okay? If it's really tricky for you to not be able to source your own images, then I would advise you to do something else, okay, just because it's going to make things easier for you in the long run. If you're doing something like, I don't know, a video game guide, then get your own screenshots from the game. That's fine. As long as you reference the copyright of the game, then that's fine. And task 8 is writing your how-to guide, essentially. So, as I said before, each Monday I'm going to email you a list of tasks that I want you to complete. Description of the task I've just been through, you can find them on the brief. And then put them on the template that I send you, and the deadline for that is going to be a week on Monday. And my expectation is that you all keep up with the work set. I'm not going to give you too much work to be doing, because I know you've got other subjects to be doing as well. But there is no reason at all why any of you can't keep up with the work that I'm saying. So make sure you keep up with the work. What I've made as well is I have made a OneDrive folder which has got access, which is going to have lots of different resources in there for you to use. So the first thing it's going to have in there is all the documents that you need. It's got the assignment brief in there, it's got some initial reading that I sent out last week that you all should have done, it's got this presentation that I'm going through, I'll put a video in there as well. It's also got the template in there for you to use as well. It's also got some useful links in there for you to look at, for you to find some examples of how-to guides and some exemplars from last year as well. So I'll just quickly show you this one, just to give you an idea of what a good how-to guide would look like. So you can see this person here has taken her own pictures for all the different stages of their how-to guides, okay? This is the kind of thing you should be doing, okay? It should include images for every stage and a nice detailed explanation for every stage as well. Some of the examples on there for you to look at as well. So I'll put the link to this in the email that I send out. It'll be Monday morning when I send this out to you. So, the deadline for this how-to guide and all the research is 25th of May. That's plenty of time. It's over a month away, and if you follow the weekly tasks that I send out to you, you should meet that deadline, no problems at all. Now, this how-to guide can be on literally whatever you want. I don't mind. In the past, I've had some good ones, including makeup tutorials. I've had someone did last year how to perfect a knuckleball technique, taking a free kick. I've had a lot of people. I had someone literally last year do a how-to guide on how to make a cake. And then the day after she finished it, she brought in this beautiful cake, which was absolutely insane. And it was really nice, and it was one of the best cakes I've ever had. But obviously no one's going to do that this year because you're all off, which is making me sad because now I really want cake. Never mind. I love cake. So 25th of May is the deadline. Any questions, like I keep saying, email me. You know how to get in touch with me. I know a few people have done that already, so thank you for those. But that is pretty much it. I will do one of these for every single assignment, so you've got a place to go to access all the stuff that you need, just in case you've got a question on there that I answered on here. Okay. Any other questions about it, though, send me an email. Other than that, I'll hopefully see you all soon.